the creepy.
No, I know we don't have the creepy guy anymore.
Yeah, that was funky.
It was funky.
No, switch with this. You can
Sure.
see Thanks for your patience, guys.
So we don't quite have everyone on it, but I think we'll be okay.
All right, so we're going to call the meeting to order, 5:34 p.m., March 9th, 2026. There's one first order of business is we have to accept the meeting minutes from the February 9th meeting of the task force. Do we have a motion? Moved by Liz, second by Brian. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. The motion is passed. There's no one here for public comment, so we'll skip through that. And I'd like to introduce Dan
Shine. Yep.
As the Chief Information Officer.
Not words. Chief Information Technology
Officer. Okay, from the City of Albany, and you're here to talk with us and maybe have a little discussion about some of the needs that we have from the task force.
Sure.
Okay. Who would like to, I'm gonna, I guess, turn right over to Brian. Brian is the vice chair of the committee and very high level computer scientist.
I wouldn't say that. I work in UI UX, so I have some familiarity with web technologies and whatever, which is a segue to out of the box, what kinds of things would a website support that the, I guess with the city council? What is it, like WordPress, or is it like easy for content management software to be added?
So you're talking about the city's website or the city council website?
City council, but we're going to need a website for ourselves. So I guess I'm just trying to get a lay of the land on if there's any limitations on what is currently there, what is not allowed, what is what would make easy for us.
Yeah, so one of the biggest challenges, and I was kind of doing some research on it, so I could maybe come across with an answer.
Yeah.
One of the biggest challenges is it's a government entity, right? And as a government entity, you are automatically restricted in a number of ways. The best technologies that are out there are unreachable, right? So, but there's still like, so we're a 365 shop. We use Microsoft Office 365. You can use things like Power Pages, but there's a cost to it. So the first question I ask is like, what's your budget? Because that's really going to be the driving factor. The way to get away cheap is to jump off of the city's website, have a page on the city's website, which is the, kind of the explanation of what you need. And then use some of the city's technology, the Office 365 SharePoint to collect images. You could use, what was it? There's another piece to it that essentially you can leverage for the communication piece. At which point that's all still government cloud, so you're covered.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a ton of charges going on with that until you start getting into one of the other questions was about the AI monitoring, right? And how do you manage that? There are some charges with that we could make up. I don't know off the top of my head. Sure. It really depends on kind of what you're looking for.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So that actually answers most of the questions.
Great. See you later.
Because branching off of an existing site is probably going to be the best both in terms of transparency and just ease of development.
Yeah.
I don't anticipate doing a full stack dev job.
So it's a question of what do you need, right? So in my mind, I don't really know a lot about the project, but I would say you kind of need that front page that says, this is what we're doing.
Yep.
And these are the rules.
What we are, who we are,
Yep.
What are the rules and how to submit.
Yep.
And that's hopefully some sort of submission form.
Yeah.
Something along those
So the next page would be that SharePoint gather say, click here to submit.
Yeah.
So at which point the end user clicks here and they submit and they say who they are, right? Now, Dan Shine, I live in the city of Albany, blah, blah, blah. And we're talking about using tax bills as a way to authenticate.
Some form of authentication or, actually, that's a great idea, yeah.
So you upload your picture and now what, right? So now you just sit and wait. And on the back end, what we do is we say, okay, we're going to use Power Tools. That's what I was trying to remember. We use Power Tools to maybe run that through. And so, hey, everybody here needs to see it. We've got a new submission. Take a look at it. Get all these via email, as well as maybe run it through an AI tool for fact checking. There's also a new one I saw. It's called contentcredentials.org, which is a website that will check for if it was built by AI. Because most things will, most things will be your signature, and it's one way or another. So it's not a huge problem or not a huge project, but there's enough pieces and parts that it takes some planning.
Yeah. Okay. Would the building of the site be, would we be responsible for building the site, or is that something we can give you requirements and you can kind of build up and we can?
That's a fantastic question, and I say that in good humor. So the city itself is looking at redesigning the website, right? And I said, I just don't have the staff to be able to do it. We've got one guy who can make the bugs fixes and stuff like that, but realistically we use Nyla here and their team to kind of build it. I guess I should say. I don't know that we've done any new pages since I've been here, so I don't have an answer for you other than. I don't want to do it.
Fair. Okay. Okay, so Nyla, and then potentially looking into our own, looking into our bootstrap type of.
Well, I think, honestly, if you come up with a design, it's probably not going to be, the tech piece is going to be on us, right? That's 100% on us.
Okay, the design part.
The design and implementation of those pieces is going to be, like I said, that's not really my jam. I could probably do it, but it wouldn't be good. If you see me with colors, I don't really work well with those. But the tech piece, the power page is working with you guys to say, okay, what do you actually want to have happen? We can probably work with that one for sure.
Okay, great. So if we can agree on a design, for lack of a better term, we can kind of hand it off. And
I would hand it off to the Nylas of the world.
Okay.
Really, just because I don't know who else to point you to.
Sure.
If you look at what the kind of the workflow is going to be, I'm happy to work with you guys on that.
Okay.
No guarantees, I'm not a whiz kid, but we can jam through it.
You at least need to know who to talk to.
Yep.
Great.
So let me just step in, the authentication part would be for the actual survey, because we're collecting designs from anyone in the public, so they don't need to live in the city.
Okay.
But then the people who are voting on that, of the top 5 designs, we had already agreed to a ranked choice voting system, and the voters would need to authenticate, and we were preliminary thinking maybe they just include their SBL number. So
what if they don't have a home?
what's that?
Yeah, what if they don't own a home?
Well, yeah, you can still get an SBL number even if you rent.
Nobody's gonna do that.
Yeah, I'm just throwing that out there. Well, we haven't figured out these other ways to authenticate. Yeah.
Just some proof of utility
Yeah.
bill.
Yeah,
Utility bill,
yeah, some basic form of
Something
proof,
that you
I would
usually
say.
use, yeah.
Yeah, I do feel like, there's just a trade-off here, no matter what. I do feel like the second that there's any barrier on
Sure.
the participation rates in
Yep.
truck. So I mean, obviously that would be a long conversation that we will have, but yeah.
But just generally, is that something that the city could, IT could, if we gave you a utility bill or a grid bill or something, it's got scanned in?
No.
So, I'll say that in good humor. So we use, do you guys know what GIS is?
Yes.
So, GIS is a mapping software, right?
Yeah.
And all the plots in the city of Albany are mapped out on GIS. Ostensibly, they're mapped to the bill, right? So if there was a way to do it, that would be the only way that I know. And there's a couple of GIS guys that we have that are quite talented, but I honestly don't know what it would take to do that. Like, because if you're going to scan in a bill, now you need to have one number off of that bill.
I don't think National Grid includes your parcel number.
Yeah, it would be, utility bill, we could just try to scrape it to the billing address.
Yeah.
And if it says the zip code and all that, that's good enough. We don't have to make it Fort Knox.
What about, so, forgive me when I say this, but I know you want the voters to be in the city of Albany. Why don't you just enter their address? Is there, and I'm gonna say it, is there enough of a trust issue that people are gonna lie about it?
Yeah, I guess that's true. It's fairly low stakes.
Yeah.
I guess the concern would be about like duplicate dummy voting, right? Like, is this like, how hard is it for like someone to just like have a bot vote, spam vote for one option?
Sure.
That actually opens up another can of worms, just bot voting in general. I assume there's CAPTCHA support or some other.
We could probably work it in. I've not built a site like that. I'm sure it's doable.
Yeah.
I've not found too many tasks in the Microsoft world that is not.
Yeah, and Microsoft, even both for
Wait a minute,
government.
you're an expert. You're not supposed to agree with me on that stuff.
I'm not a Microsoft guy, so, it should.
I would, like I said, I've not done it, so I can only imagine if there was, but.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, a caption addressing what is probably sufficient. Or even just a zip code might even be enough. Reducing barriers is gonna.
Or you know what actually would be a good reflector is the address and the ward. Because I don't live in the city of Albany, but everyone I know in the city of Albany knows what ward they're in.
We have to know.
I don't know if I know my ward, except I know where the table always is in the place I vote. I know that it's.
Just go over the number.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think it's. Yeah, either way.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, we can brainstorm how to do that. That's less of a technical and more of a social engineering question.
Yeah.
The other question that came up was, and I know the answer to this, but would you accept an AI submission, a creation by AI? Right.
I think we said no.
Yeah, I mean, if we have a way to verify that, I
Right.
think the idea is we wouldn't want that. Yeah, it'd be nice.
The exception is, the main possible exception I saw is if somebody can describe in detail what they were going for and they just don't have the artistic skill.
And that was, so when I was doing some digging on this thing, and I don't have all the answers, but when I was doing some digging, one of the suggestions was that you have to write a sentence that says, why did I use those symbols?
And we were planning on doing that.
Yeah.
Some sort of open question.
Sure.
We want to know the justification, we want to know the symbolism, we want to understand the colors. We want it to be apparent just visually, but also if there's something we're not aware of in the city of Albany, we want to know about it.
That's cool.
Yeah. That's everything I had. So we kind of have next steps and feasibility worked out. Did anyone else have any specific questions related to website stuff?
You referred to like Nyla and like her capacity. It was like A, who is she, and B, like what is that broader team?
She is a stealth person, like. I kid you not. So Nyla is the head of marketing. Good gal to work with. She's not, I honestly don't know what her skill set is on the website, but I do know that it is in her basket to fix.
Okay.
And change. Like during the transition, she had to do a bunch of stuff.
When you said how, I thought it was a New York State agency.
Nope, no, it's a person. It is a genuine, honest to God person.
She was here in the last administration, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
So there's Nyla, there's Robbie, I can't remember his last name, there's a photographer guy, he's super talented. There's a couple of folks on the creative staff that I think Nyla is really the person we want to talk to, but I think that anybody on the creative staff can probably punch in the right direction. I know my limits and I'm not a web guy. I can push the buttons. Yeah.
To
build out like the, after we have a design and we wanted to do the submissions and.
The workflow stuff?
Yeah, the workflow. What's your time?
I think honestly, it's gonna be, I gotta understand the task, right? So I've worked with all the tools before. I'm not a whiz kid at them, I'm not a guru, it's not my job. But I do know the tools and I know what they can do. So I don't really have an answer for you. Like until we kind of get into it and say, okay, this is what we need to have happen. We put the parts and pieces together and I said, anybody can do that stuff, right? I could probably give you a better estimate then.
Okay, and of the types of files that we receive, other than JPEGs and PDFs, are there limitations to certain files we cannot receive?
Well, it's a great question. So on the AI piece, right? There's like AI is always going to use JPEGs. They just do, right? And so that would automatically be an eliminator in most cases. But like a Photoshop file like .ps, those are all fine.
Any graphic designer were to solve would export it as PDF or PNG. They would use it.
Yeah. So as far as I know, no, that could change.
And so
I reserve the right.
My next question is, does the city have a Adobe suite? So if we receive an Illustrator file,
I have access to that, so
So do
I can export it.
yeah, just to know. What
Worst case, we can.
So committee members. Okay.
Okay. Anybody else have any further questions, Ben?
I think we hit a lot of them, just as the components and file size and all those, the kind of things that we knew we'd run into.
And there's a ton more. Like there's a ton more questions that I can
Yeah.
In terms of, and this is like maybe very stupid, in terms of like just like the pure number of submissions, right? Like how many like images can be like submitted to the like website without it being like a problem?
If we get a crash, I think we'll be more famous
Do
than
we have
that.
going off of file size, do we have a maximum size of bucket that we can?
50 gig.
50 gigs?
You're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Or you guys are going to have a long couple of days. Just saying.
And we could limit a single upload to like 10 megabytes. I would imagine, like if anybody's doing more high def than that, yeah.
So what we're talking about is website, basically stage one, but we are gonna have a second stage of it when we put up like the
5
or whatever.
finals, yeah.
So I think we've got to figure out how we want to do that. So we're talking about more than a couple of pages, I guess.
And that's for the voting? Is that what you're talking about?
For when we get to the point of voting, yes.
Yeah.
I imagine once we establish 5 finalists, you don't want them side by side, you want them on individual pages and then at the end.
Or some form of gallery view.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See one at a time.
Yeah. And, you know,
We can
you
figure out the
features
design stuff.
you got
It's getting the images on the page, that's easy. It's the collecting the votes that's going to be trickier.
And turning off the submission part of it too.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure can be automated, so.
Yeah, nobody wants to wait for it. Flip the switch.
Nope. What were you thinking of for the voting piece?
It's a lot of what we're talking about, how to authenticate who's voting, how many times they vote. I mean, so when the city did the snowplow thing, I know I voted, we could vote like once a day. I did that a few times. I don't remember being authenticated in any way, except maybe a zip code did any of
It's
these vote for the
probably
plows.
either, it's probably ID logging, right?
No. City's not smart enough for
Okay.
that. And in all good, honestly, there's no way. Honestly, like I said, every provider's got their own set, and those IPs can go from here to Rochester.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's a way for us do we want to allow people to vote every day? Do we want to only allow them to vote once? That's something we should figure out, but then that would impact your work, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that would work, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like so I've set up voting kiosks before, but it was years ago, and I don't honestly know how to do that right now. It's not.
Who did the one for the plows, the plow naming contest? Do you know?
I can only imagine that was contracted out.
Okay.
That'd be my
Okay.
guess.
All right.
Because knowing the personnel down there is going to be super technical down there, at least on the website.
Yeah.
I mean, Nick is pretty good, but. Sounds like a fun project either way.
You guys have any questions or?
No,
While
honestly, I think.
we have you.
I only made it one that it sounds like maybe you weren't involved with any of like the neighborhood improvement surveys or anything like that.
No. That was there. So the city uses something called job form. Job form is for lack of a better way of putting it, it does surveys. It's a mailing piece. It's a whole bunch of stuff, right? We're trying to get off of job form really because it's a cost, right? As opposed to Office 365 and forms where you have it all built in. But it was likely something on job form would be much best, which is, it's a solid platform, 100%, but just costs. Any other questions, comments?
No, yeah,
No, that's
well, we have them here.
thorough.
So you have my email address. You're
Yes.
free to shoot me a line, I'll try and get back to you in a timely fashion. I'll take a look at what we can do from the design perspective and not the website design, but really the back end stuff. See if we can kind of start to sketch out our workflow. And when are you looking to setting this up?
Sooner than later.
City time or real time?
Well, that's the rules of government, so,
We want to do it right.
Yeah.
You don't want to rush into it, but we also, I think, kind of want to have the flag ready for the upcoming state's 250th anniversary next year.
Okay.
But I think our job as a task force is to really lay out this timeline and knowing like how long it would take for you to do back end work. If it's months, weeks, or a few months.
It's probably weeks, but I bet you there's going to be some trouble in there somewhere. Like there's going to be some troubleshooting. There's going to be some, oh my God, I forgot. Oh geez, Sally submitted 27 times. That we'll have to figure out.
Yeah, and certainly, I don't know if it's something we can talk about now, but once we have maybe if you return the submissions to us in batches rather than daily, I think that might help actually our framework.
What about I just gave you access to the drive where they're stored?
That's what I was saying, it's gonna happen then.
Yeah.
That way you can go kind of through at your leisure. When you were talking about the display, kind of going to see all the pieces and parts. I know like SharePoint will allow you to, it uses OneDrive, so it'll allow you to just kind of list things out as a name, but it also allows you to list them out as a picture, so you can go boop, 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 right down the line. There may be a better solution than that. That's the only one I know of right now. So, if I find one, that'd be great.
yeah, we're not gonna need a portal for us on the website. We can just go through the back end.
Yep. Yeah, and honestly, that's probably easier anyway, to be quite frank,
Yeah.
just because, there's no reason to build it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Do we I think, do you guys only want to have a portal on the website, or do you guys also want like an email to be set up in case people have
Questions?
submissions there, or like picture submissions, or, I guess questions?
I would say we should redirect it to submit to the website, keep it all in one place.
Mhm.
An email to the task force wouldn't be a bad idea. But we wouldn't want to go back to
Yeah.
that, I'd say.
We can like put that like a little blurb on the website as well.
Yeah.
I'll notice that. I'll help us take
We're
it
not
tomorrow
changing
to
the
get on
process.
this.
Please don't give us feedback.
Good luck.
I'm like,
Good luck with that.
fine.
I'm kidding. All right, so like I said, let me know. I'll start to play around with this just to see what I can kind of come up with, just back up and kind of drawing.
Would it make sense for us to schedule another meeting with you now or soon so that, because I know it was a little tough to get this one and just, I mean, I think we can do that through Carly, right? So, yeah.
We could do it in like, give you some time, so 2 months.
2 months, yeah. So, yeah, we
We
can
can
figure
get
out
our
our stuff.
Yeah, we'll be there for that one.
I'll build a solution, bring it back to you guys, go, that's not what I want.
Also, because it does say in the legislation that I have some of your bios and pictures, but it does say that on the website there needs to be like their bios and pictures and stuff like that. So then I have like a running doc going that I could send you to put on to. No.
I'm not doing website stuff.
Nope, never mind. Missed too much.
Nope. And I only said I don't mean to be an ass about it. It's just not something that I feel comfortable doing. No problem screwed up, so try not to do so many of those things. But there is a design team here that works pretty well. And I would point you there. Not really just because of my own incompetence, but because of their competence.
You said that's Nyla?
Nyla.
Okay, cool. I can talk to her tomorrow.
Yep. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I've seen her face. Yeah.
Yep. She's
I don't think I've met her in
literally
person yet, but she's
right
right
on the
there,
other side of
right?
this wall.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, nice gal. Like I said, she'll do you one way or another. You know, she does have that level of talent.
Yes. Yeah. And she sends us a lot of emails. She's like everything that you can think of, she's doing it.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, cool.
Beauty of youth.
Do you think it would be helpful if, like, at that theoretical, like, you come to, I guess, the
May
meeting, if Nala was here as well, so we could have, like, both of you here, I mean, not
Great
to
idea.
put things on Nala's calendar while she's not even here, we haven't met her, but, like, you know, just in terms of, like, so you can be like, hey, like, I don't think this is something in my wheelhouse, that would be helpful?
Sure. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. At least it's nice to have all the players at the table.
Yeah, exactly.
So hypothetically, since we meet once a month, so we would have a meeting of us, and then the second meeting, you would be here. Would it be feasible to have wireframes ready for that second meeting for you to look at, just for quick feasibility analysis?
Yeah, sure. I said, if you get those done early, just shoot me a line. No guarantees, but we'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
The goal is to get it done, get it off the plate, and make it work.
All right, thank you very much for your time, man.
Thank you.
Pleasure, absolutely. Like I said, shoot me a line if you need me. Appreciate it. I'm scared.
This time.
Yeah, this time.
I think we should start working out, kind of thinking about our design of it.
Yeah.
So be ready for, you know, I mean, if we have the time for that, which is.
So wireframes
Wireframes are kind of the low fidelity, like, this is gonna go here, this is gonna go here, kind of thing.
Draft.
Draft quality, mock-up, just quick and dirty so that we can kind of plan where things are going, what we want on each page. We don't have to think too hard about colors and fonts and all that at that point. It's just
What do we want from effectively the submission page, right?
bird's eye view, yeah.
It's something you can draft up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Great.
Yeah.
Do you need input from us now about what that needs to be, or?
I would say
Draft?
a good brainstorming session right here might be productive. I forgot my notebook and pen.
No, like, I have nothing. I don't.
It's warm for my phone.
I'm hearing too loud for too
Security guards that have to run.
Oh, sorry.
It's like
Really jammed in there.
I'm going to steal one.
All right. Yeah, so let's start with just the website hierarchy. So we've got the homepage first, and then that's going to have
Task force names and, what do we call that? Mission?
Mission statement.
There we are.
Yeah. I would keep that like super brief and keep like the main function is going to be collecting submissions, right? So like you want them to see that submission button that's first.
If they want that other information, they could go up.
Right, so like home
Yeah.
and then about is where all of that's going to live,
Yeah.
and then that's you can get into bios of us and all that fun stuff.
Yep, I agree with that.
And then I also think there should be maybe a third page on like generally what we're looking for in a flag design, and like, so that it gives, I don't know, we talk about not leading the question at all, but like, something, I want, maybe not. The internet exists.
I agree that we should have some sort
But
of.
I would like to be like, here are
like
some basic
flag
principles
design
and symbols and.
resources.
Yeah.
I would argue that should almost be on the homepage.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like,
What other cities have done.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a little bit of the history of the existing
Yeah.
flag, maybe.
Why we're changing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I don't think that hurts. I don't think it's leading the question.
no, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Keep the actionable stuff on the first page.
Mhm.
Yep.
Then the second page, if they want to, they can learn about us, which,
Fitting.
yeah.
Yeah, really.
All right. Submission page and flag resources on the homepage, great.
Portal for submission, right?
Yeah, that would be on the
Oh,
homepage.
great, okay.
Yeah.
That's a link to
When
it.
you say portal, I'm envisioning something, I'm dragging a file and dropping it into. Is that right?
Or the upload button.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's more technologically, a more technical question, but drag and drop is great, or an upload button.
Yeah.
Just,
And
yeah,
you're
But it's
submitting one
collecting
single
your-
file,
And collecting your information,
and then there's a form underneath it with the.
or at the top.
tell me you're a lawyer without telling me you're a lawyer.
I'm just trying to visualize this in my head. So then there'll be a text block.
It's
where
so
you're putting-
similar to
Yeah.
like a job, like, you know, any job you apply for, you have to upload a resume, right? And that's clearly got some way of
Yeah.
filtering it. That's what I don't know, that's what I'm
Pretty
thinking,
much,
like,
yeah.
but with way less questions above it.
Yeah, we're speaking in general terms with portal and all that, but it's going to be the user experience you're pretty used to when it comes to submitting a file to something. Just select a file, upload, drag it in, anything you want to do. We'll keep that.
TurboTax.
Yeah, TurboTax is a great analogy for everything, because
So-
everyone's familiar with it, and it's
I know what it
very,
is.
very, very in-depth in terms of user experience. It makes something complicated relatively easy.
And then any thoughts on one more page or another section maybe of just like what we intend to do, of how do we plan on whittling down these submissions and when the vote will happen and all that? I think if you set expectations there,
Agreed.
Yeah.
I'm with the process section not being like the about me section, right? The about me being
I
like
think
what
that makes
this
sense.
organization,
Yeah.
like
Mm.
task force is, and like, sure, like,
yeah, it's probably all there.
Yeah,
So based on the amount of content that we are looking at here, I'm probably seeing just a single page with a fairly long scroll, but then some sort of navigation that just jumps to different points on the page.
sure, yeah,
Okay.
like mission,
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
sure, gotcha.
And we can have different tabs, and like a tabbed off section for like bios and mission, like stuff that's like kind of the metadata that's not really important. We can scroll between that, but primarily, like the most important stuff is going to be how to submit, how to make a flag.
Yeah.
And then how to vote. But that'll be a different form of that.
For the submission page, and like, this might be a little card ahead of the horse, should there be like some amount of language about like submissions being accepted until, and then like,
yes.
Yep.
I think that should be right above the submission.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
and then do we actually have an answer for that?
No.
I mean, it's 2 months after we opened it up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
sort of have an answer,
yeah, right, yes.
to be determined.
No, okay, yeah, but like, actually, yeah, that is helpful, right, of 2 months, following the opening, so, yeah.
Probably should have an accessibility function.
That's going to be built in.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah, part of that is design in terms of color, choosing the right colors and everything. But most browsers have screen reader capability built in. Actually, all of them do at this point, so it's pretty good about that.
And then will there, Brian, be once you made a submission, you get that, you go to a redirect page, this is thank you for your submission, something like that.
Yeah, any time a user takes an action, you want to give them some sort of immediate feedback that helps them.
Yeah, that you're not gonna hear from us.
They could get an email too,
Or a question.
that could be built in.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
a receipt of your submission.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get a non-reply email from the.
You can
Thank you
just
for your
success
submission.
banner.
Yeah.
Success banner is plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or changing actually ideally you would change the submission form to just a big success message because we don't want them uploading another one right away.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, could we time them out to lock out from submitting something else, or do we don't?
I don't know if we have to be that strict
Do
about
we
it.
want to? I think
Yeah.
that's a question we have to.
I don't, yeah,
I'm fine with people submitting multiple ones. It's the bot submissions that I want to avoid, but if people have multiple designs, I don't see a reason why they can't reload the page and upload another one, so.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, just a dismissible success message is plenty.
And we want to ask, I mean, I do think we need to keep it simple for ease of user, but we want to ask them, tell us about your design or something that's not too leading, but is open enough that they're gonna
Yeah.
say like,
Yeah.
I like
the
these
form.
colors, or beavers are great, or whatever.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, with the form,
like a text box.
yes.
That requires
Yeah.
your text box.
Yeah. And validation, I know you can do in SharePoint, so we can mark fields required.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Have option fields, we can do all kinds of stuff.
Great.
That's definitely feasible.
So in terms of, this is gonna come off of the city website in some way. We will, I mean, I think aesthetically, it should kind of mirror it in terms of,
Yeah, it needs to
and
look
such.
official
yeah,
enough.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, great.
that's an easy bridge to cross.
Well, especially if you're giving them the content and they're putting it, you know.
Yeah, and being able to reuse stuff that they already have.
Yeah, like I was thinking, like if we wanted to have like a resources, whatever, like if there is a link on the website, I'm sure there's a link on the website about like the history of the city or
Yeah.
like, right, because like, you know, say we put this out, right, that like we have this design competition and, you know, some weirdo on Reddit is interested in the idea, but is like not familiar with Albany, like being able to provide resources to like learn about the area would be helpful. So whether that's like maybe to, like a city page about like the history of the city or something like that might be.
I had a question for you.
Mhm.
I was thinking if we were gonna pair this and be accepting submissions maybe by over summer or for a live at 5, what if were we allowed to have like a banner or some kind of signage at a city-sponsored events?
So, quick question to butt in. Are you banner for advertising for submissions or advertising for voting?
Well, wherever we are in the process.
Okay, because instead of having a banner that says, go to this place to vote,
The QR.
either a QR code or a physical thing that we can have, like an iPad kiosk basically, to just be able to have people, like link to the site and have people be able to vote at city events. And everything.
Yeah.
I do think a QR code would be smarter, just in case. I'm just not, obviously I can touch base with, I think that's the Office of Cultural Affairs that heads those. I'm just more thinking about how, and like with the website discussion as well, how you guys don't really have a budget. So the second, I didn't think about that at all. I don't think anybody previously thought about that. Obviously, it wouldn't be a lot of money. We'll have to see how much everything costs, but those are kind of my forefront thoughts right now. But I don't think it should be difficult considering they work here. You know, like I know the people who, so it makes things easier.
You're saying you're not task force based, that's not the solution.
I know, like maybe you guys do some fundraising. Bring back the Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Sorry. But I know that sorry, you guys are under the common council, so I know that we do have some like miscellaneous funds for, yeah, exactly, like said rainy day or contracted services that can be moved over. Because we did
I
move,
don't think we're looking for anything too crazy, but
yeah, like $500 just to like,
just so.
we don't have to have,
There's a tablet kiosk with probably 5 banners.
yeah, something.
I print 2 foot by 5 foot banners for work, and they're $42.50 a piece on vinyl. So like,
Easy.
Oh,
you
yeah.
get several of those for that price.
We only need one of them with the QR
Right.
code, really.
Get a nice X stand, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ways to
those
blow
ones
it.
that stick up with the pole.
Yeah.
Kind of easier maneuver around. I'm just throwing this out there, sticking when it comes to security.
Right.
You know?
But this brings up another interesting point of how and where are we getting the message out about all this? What's our, once the website, assuming the website's perfect, everything's ready to go, what's our rollout plan as far as advertising it and letting people know this is live, where's it going? Obviously, all the freebie
Marketing
ones.
or somebody else.
Press release, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Like there's lots of the freebie ones, like News 10 is gonna love to have you on in the morning segment. Like you can hit all 4 of the local stations, like that's fine, I can make that happen. After all the freebie stuff though, like with budget, where else can we get the word out? I guess that's the point. Obviously, social media, all the channels
Yeah, we do
that the
have
city
made
uses.
a Facebook for you guys,
Okay.
so that's one thing.
Does Albany have a Reddit account or some sort of official?
Yeah, we don't have an official Reddit. We do have a Blue Sky, a Facebook, and then the Instagram. So then I could obviously do stuff on the Instagram, and then link it to your guys' Facebook, which will have the website linked to it and everything, like, one big circle.
Yeah.
But, yeah, talking about marketing afterwards, we can also bring Nyla into that conversation as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Mhm.
So that's the April, yeah, it's a good timeline to start really considering all that.
Mhm.
Very good.
I think we should maybe talk to you about this, putting something on the website that when they submit something, they're releasing their copyright to us.
Oh, yeah, I have not even thought ahead like that. I mean, I don't know, because I would automatically assume if you're gonna put that in, you sort of going in knowing you're gonna use it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, what else do we do with it? Think about it, reflect on it, like.
That could be a required field though, like
Submit it.
yeah.
I just don't know if it's not seriously looping corp council in on something like that. Like,
I mean, I don't know, I guess you always could, but in my opinion, if you actually took the time to look at the Instagram and submit something, it's common sense at that point. You want to use it.
Yeah. And as a UI designer, like, it seems like, no offense to the attorneys in the room, that the attorney requirements for things just always bog down user interfaces and make things a lot harder to use, way more complicated. There's always big blocks of text. It's like, we want to make it easy and reduce any barrier to entry if possible. So if things can be assumed as common sense, that would make me happy. But I will defer in matters of law.
I'm with you though, if it's gonna be anywhere on any of the stuff, like put it way down the bottom of the page with the legal fine print of like, by submitting, you're definitely saying this is,
And that's probably
Creative
an
Commons
easy
at
field
this
they can
point.
put on,
Yeah.
do like,
Yeah.
whatever portal we're sending.
yeah.
Yeah, we can add
I think it's, yeah, that's simple, it's like, by submitting, it's immediately Creative Commons.
Yeah.
Very good. So follow.
any other discussion on this?
No, I have at least a direction to start on, so we can have something to look at next
time,
meeting.
and then in 2 months we'll have.
We can discuss basic stuff. From here, I'll take any changes we want made, get those figured out. Is there any way that we can have some sort of TV or presentation?
Oh,
that,
yeah.
oh,
So we
it's
have,
right there. I didn't
Yeah.
see it.
yeah, we just have to drag it over and then
Great.
considering I've got 2 laptops and you can bring whatever HDMIs.
Perfect, yeah, just that way it's easier to show
Mhm.
stuff to the group.
All right,
So just to be clear, like, next session is largely just coming right into one review, like whatever.
Yeah, review what I have.
Also, great, and then also be like, oh crap, is there anything else we theoretically want on the first version of the website?
Yeah, and depending on what feedback there is, I'll be presenting from my design software, so I'll be able to make some changes real time so you kind of see things.
And then also prepping questions theoretically, if Dan can come back again, and Nyla also having some part of the next meeting to be about prepping questions. Yeah, okay, cool.
Are you in need of any content before you start building this thing? And do you have access to what you need? As far as, I know, the bios and all that fun stuff, and
I mean, I can just put placeholder bios.
Okay.
Okay. This is gonna be.
Right, you need
Yeah.
those, right?
This is
Yeah.
gonna
I mean, yeah, like when
Okay.
it's up and running, I guess.
Just wanna make sure.
fairly legally, yes.
be.
okay.
Yeah, at some point, you just need a deadline for that,
Uh,
because otherwise I
But
would.
we send them to you, right, Carly?
Yeah, because I have like a running doc of like also like things that you guys have mentioned before that you want on the website, like as like a little port face.
That's great.
I could, yeah, and then I have like 3 pictures as a separate, so I could like send you that folder once
Yeah.
everything's down there.
perfect.
And we could have the due date be like 5 days before you're ready.
Alternatively, I can take headshots tonight if anybody needs one, and we can.
I mean,
I don't know why our pictures be up there. Why, what is it, what's
There's-
the purpose? Is that like in,
It says it in the order. I mean, I don't think your
Really?
pictures are necessary.
but you have to at least say like Jennifer's an Albany resident, blah, blah, blah. Okay.
Yeah, it says so in the, yeah, I caught that last time we had a meeting and it was like, and the member bios are necessary, those in the ordinance. I was like, okay, yeah, sure. Mhm. So I mean, you don't have to submit a picture if you don't want to, but I just, yeah, just makes things, whatever.
I would say photo should be everyone or nobody,
Mm.
in my opinion.
Totally.
So if somebody doesn't want to photo.
Oh, I have a photo. I have tons of photos.
Well,
That's not a problem. I was
It's narrowing it down.
Yeah, I was like, why do we need one? Like,
Yeah.
that's not photo is the issue.
all right, ready to adjourn? Motion to adjourn,
So moving.
Second.
second, all in favor? Adjourn. April 13th, 5:30.
You got it.